So I'm going to start with the concept of bad language. And there's one logistical frustration that's going to come with that. And that's the fact that it's a perfect segue into two other subjects, of which I shall have to choose one if I choose to take advantage of that segue opportunity. We have this concept of bad language. There are, and I don't mean insulting people incessantly and choosing to be hurtful. I mean the fact that we have specific words that we are not supposed to use. We're allowed to mean those things. So it's not a case of meaning. Some of the words we're allowed to use in certain contexts, but not others. We'll go with something really benign. Damn. You can talk about damnation, but if you say damn, it's like it's this expression of frustration that becomes a. I mean, I know we've moved way beyond that being a curse word, but you get the idea. Certain words pack different power in different cultures. You say the word cunt in England, and you're just talking about a person with a bad attitude. Sort of the way in certain realms the word bitch has become less gender specific here. But this is all beside the point. It's just kind of setting up the fact that the words don't mean the same thing in every context, and we know that. So you're allowed to say these things depending on what bitch, that's a good one. Obviously, the combination of letters by itself and the combination of sounds does not cause the harm, is not bad for our kids, because we can refer to a female dog this way, and not only is it acceptable, it is the accurate word for that definition. If we use that word to refer to a difficult situation, that's a bitch, then we have taken it out of that context and made it something less acceptable. If we call a woman a bitch, well, then we've really moved into a different realm now, haven't we? So it isn't the arrangement of letters. We are allowed to mean fornication, making love, defecating. Kids are told to say, no, it's going poopy. We are teaching them to take something with no independent relevance or meaning and accept a social control prohibiting that realm. Now, okay, you think like, okay, so what's so bad? We give them some words they're not supposed to say. What we are training in the end is not to avoid something that's harmful on its face, not to avoid having them mean certain things, because they can mean the things, not to avoid them hearing certain sound and letter combinations, which is patently absurd anyway. But we are training them to do one thing, maybe two. That is to yield to arbitrary and baseless social constraints. We are preparing them for that's really far away, that's pretty loud. We are preparing them to accept unreasoned restrictions on the course of their thinking and speech. Because obviously one is a reflection of the other. Speech is a reflection of thought. I don't believe in some grand conspiracy of thought control or mind control. I pretty much reject all of the grand conspiracies. I don't think we're organized enough as a species to keep such big secrets. But I do believe that there is a regressive evolutionary state. There's an element of our nature that operates on fear of digression, the herd instinct. I believe that the herd instinct, which is from where the pressure to conform comes, the anxiety that comes with the idea of independent thinking, the anxiety that comes with being untethered from your group, is avoided as a group by coming up with a set of rules to which we would conform. Bad language, no basis. We are doing every generation a disservice by introducing them to this concept. Now, I realize that the practical issues with teaching our kids that fuck, shit, cunt, piss, goddamn, that none of these are bad on their face, I realize that there's a complication that they may go into the world and suffer consequences for not adhering to the sensibilities of the public at large. But I'll tell you a little story. I was 5 years old. I was traveling, and I encountered a bad word in Spanish. Mierda. Shit. My grandmother informed me that that was something I wasn't supposed to say. And I had to inquire as to what the word was, and I was told. It didn't make me giggly. It wasn't something I couldn't understand. It wasn't confusing that she didn't get mad at me for saying it, because I understood, as children do, that the impact of something is relative to how it's used and where it's used. You can teach a kid that, you know what, the word shit isn't bad. There's no reason it's bad, but it can be a bad thing to use, and you know what, they're not as dumb as you think. They're going to use it. You're just marking where and when they can use it, because you know what, they're going to make those markers anyway. They're going to make those markers. You know what, mom and dad aren't around, and I'm just going to walk down the street saying shitty, shitty, fuck, 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 shitty, shitty. And you know what, I didn't make that up. I actually watched a kid do that. Same words. It is one of the most dysfunctional things we pass on to our kids. We are harming our children by protecting them from bad language. And we are failing to even recognize that we are passing on this tradition of slavery of consciousness by reprimanding other adults from using these words in the presence of our children. As if we can protect them. We're going to teach them that this is something that shouldn't even exist in your midst. We're going to teach them something that just has no practical basis in reality. There is no realm of the world where they are going to be as protected from this harmless thing as you choose to try to make them. So do your kid a favor, and when somebody says shit in front of your kids and you get pissed off, realize that the only thing happening right there is you yielding to the dysfunctions of society. Your kid's fine. The person who used the language is not doing anything wrong. You are fucking up in your head.